I just woke up.
What's up, everybody?
So this is my first vlog.
Hello, my name is Greg. I'm the owner of Greg Craft Productions, and I'm about to help you guys become a better videographer and how to build your business better than I did it. So are you struggling with clients? You're trying to build your portfolio and have better content so that better clients are hiring you? Well, I was in that position at one point too. I started doing videography at about 12 years old, and I always had an issue with my quality. I was always insecure about the work I was producing. I didn't have the money to shoot 4K or find cameras that could shoot 4K 120 for a cheap price. So I always felt left behind. So as a kid, I loved cameras. I loved seeing the biggest rigs. I loved seeing the nicest cameras. And I was always taking pictures of people with cameras, always going up to people asking what camera they had. And if they had any information about the camera, I might purchase it in the future. But I didn't have those cameras. I had a little bit of a vlogging camera, but I had a basic level of business knowledge. I was reffing soccer games from about 10 to like 15. And all that time when I was making the money, I was just pushing it right back into my business, right back into upgrading my gear. A lot of that meant the first couple years of my business, I didn't make any money. But that's perfectly okay if you know what you're doing. I was young in high school, living with my parents, so I didn't really have much expenses to go through. I didn't have to worry about paying a car payment. I didn't have to worry about paying rent, which really helped me scale my business. I wouldn't be able to be 19 and dropped out of college doing this full time if I didn't have the financial ability to build my business in high school. And for that, I'm so grateful. If your family's in some sort of situation where you need to be a provider, then it's probably not time yet to build your business. Use the money that you're making to make your family stable, and then anything extra, grind that. Put that into the business and work from there. Okay, so now the point of the video. What method did I use as a young creator to scale my business? Renting gear has become somewhat inexpensive these days if you know how to use it right. If you're coming out of pocket for a gig, then you might think, oh, it's kind of expensive, I don't really want to rent. But if you're getting paid for a gig, here's how you can do it correctly. I'm gonna give you a little example here. So we've got a client coming up to us. He or she's gonna pay us $200, and we're gonna have to make them a hype video. It's a sports hype video, so basically what all of us have started on. The list of gear we have is a Sony body or a Canon body. I'm a Sony guy, but we'll use Canon as well. A kit lens, so probably like a 24 to 70 cheap f5.6, something like that, and then just a regular SD card. I'm using this because it's basically what everyone started out with. Their mom and dad have a camera and they picked it up and just decided to start shooting. I know that's what I did. A big misunderstanding that I even fell for was that the body of your camera is the most important gear. I disagree with that. I think the body of your camera makes your image, but I think the lens is what makes your image sharper than other people's. That's what we need to upgrade here. The kit lens isn't gonna do us very well, but it will get the job done for wide shots. But for this scenario, we need to zoom in down the field for a football field, for a lacrosse field, soccer game, anything like that. We need to have some length. So let's go over to Aperture Rent and see what they have for us. Now that we're at Aperture Rent, let's go see what we can find for lenses. And you can use any rental company, but Aperture Rent has become my favorite. I'll walk in, they know my name, they've got my gear already ready for me. It's cheap, it's the perfect way for me. I said it a little bit earlier, but before we pick our actual lenses that we need to figure out what we're shooting, where we're shooting, and what type of shots we want. So, as I said, this is a football field. We're gonna need to get longer shots. Telephoto lens is what we're looking for. And because it's outside, we don't really need a 2.8, but you know, the bokeh in the background, who doesn't love a 2.8? If it were indoors, I would really recommend a 2.8 because you need that extra light. Now there's different types of telephoto lenses you can get. I have the Sony 7200 2.8, which is an amazing lens, but it's also expensive. I would recommend the 70-180 2.8 Tamron lens. I used that lens for so long. My best friend uses that lens for so long. Actually, another friend of mine still uses that lens and works for Georgia Tech. Like, this is one of the greatest lenses for the price. Okay, so let's go through Aperture Rent and see if we can find this lens and see how much it costs. All right, so we found the lens. Let's see the rental period. 3 days. Usually you want to do 3 days and the damage protect because who knows what can happen. Some player can run in and hit the lens and now you're screwed. Now you're gonna have to pay so much fees and stuff like that because the lens is broken. Also with this lens, you might think, oh, Greg, like the image quality is gonna be horrible. No, I didn't even know the image quality had a difference from any other lens before I upgraded. Once I upgraded, I was like, okay, yeah, like this lens is obviously better. But for the price, it's almost unnoticeable. Another good thing about this lens is that it is super light. So in your backpack, you're not gonna be carrying around pounds and pounds of gear. When you're holding the camera, your arms aren't gonna get tired. It's really like a solid lens. Now that you have the gear, it's booked, let's do the math of how much we're gonna end up making. Okay, so the client gave us $200 and we used 60, so now we're making 140. To me, that's still a good profit because clients are gonna see this better quality of work and they're gonna wanna hire you more. If you just had your kit lens, your 24-70, you can't zoom in. You're gonna have to zoom in post, and then it's gonna be really grainy and horrible pixels and stuff like that. So this method really helps your videos look better, which then makes clients respect you more because your quality is just better. If you think this method is a great way to build your business, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I'm gonna be coming out with more and more tips. If you don't think it's a great method, then leave me a comment and let's have a discussion about why don't you think it's a great method and what is a great method. I would love to hear your feedback.